Correction.
system.
Correction. It cannot happen. We
It
are
will not
changing.
happen to mine.
It will not happen. These are the things that we have the power to change. These are the things that we work on in our rituals. These are the things that's been instituted by this black-eyed priest and this priesthood, this Jesuit priesthood that has tainted our communities purposely to break us apart, to damage us, to dumb our children down, to bring this wickedness of pedophilia, homosexuality, all of these things. I mean, I don't have to be, I'm not trying to be politically correct because I know what my ancestors said. Men don't lay with men. Somebody got to take a stand somewhere. Okay, that's not what we do.
Yes.
So, you know, I don't care nothing about being politically correct. I'm for what's true and what's right and what I know the law is. The law is none of that existed before this hybrid came out of the cave. And that's not in our law. They came onto the planet, took control, took power, took our knowledge to control people and the world, and instituted all of this craziness. They control them. You can see it. They control the movies. You seeing it in the movies and on TV. That's who's controlling this. That's who's ordering this. This wicked pedophile homosexual that's in these monasteries having sex with men and making this a requirement to be in their industries to get high up. How you think? Okay, I'm gonna touch on everything that I had asked about earlier. People wanted to talk about this situation with Jada and Will. Well, can't say their name, but anyway, this situation with the man who slapped Chris Rock. He was under a spell. Did y'all see that? First, he was laughing. He was in a total different space. All of a sudden, he jumped out his seat, went up there like a robot, and slapped that man. I promise you, that was a spell. These people work in labs 24/7, taking shifts, doing stuff like that. I bet you they did it to try to ruin him. They will pick you up and bring you in there. And if you don't do what they say, if you don't do everything they tell you to do, they will take you down. And they will find a way to do it. They didn't want that man was getting an Oscar that night for playing a role that they did not want him to play. He had already been at a top Hollywood actor, and you can't get up there unless you then did a ritual. So this is my assessment of the situation. Everybody keep talking about Jada and how she don't respect him. Did he do some things to make her not respect him? Think about it.
Yes, he did.
Okay. Well, that's where we at. She ain't talking about it because she can't talk about it. She frustrated. How you think Will Smith been the #1 actor all these years? He slept with a man. That's the only way you can get to that level. Jamie Foxx, Brad Pitt. This is what they have to do. This is a requirement for this homosexual Jesuit priest.
Yes.
You can hear the artists talk about it all the time. Some of them didn't take that road. And that's why they didn't raise to the billboards no more.
Was that Wesley Snipes as well, Empress?
I'm not sure. I haven't checked on him. But this is my assumption of what happened. He did a role that they told him not to do, and he was getting an Oscar that night. So they said, okay, you're gonna get your Oscar, but we're gonna ruin your career at the same time. They did their spells, they mind control rituals, because this is their job. This is what they do. They have full labs with people in cubicles doing sorcery to control everybody that's in their priesthood. So anytime, that's why I said these people have to be taken out. Or do we have to, what the ancestor told me is, I've been breaking the spell. They told me to break the spells that this Jesuit priest has put on the world. That's what we have to do, family. Because these people are under a spell. Any one of them that has taken that oath and that ritual, they're under a spell. They're under the spell of the priesthood. That's what we're dealing with. We're not dealing with individuals who are in their own full will and capacity. When you see these artists come out, that's the only way they can control them. That's why you don't see many artists helping others and bringing them into it. Because of that, they have rules and requirements, and if you break them, they're going to punish you. They're going to do something to take it away, or they're going to do what they did to Bill Cosby. Do what they did to Dave Chappelle. Do what they did to Cat Williams. Cat Williams and Dave Chappelle is not the real individuals. That's not a soul. That's not a living spirit and soul in them bodies. They're body snatchers. They have the technology to do that. Okay. This is what we dealing with. We dealing with a diabolical beast that wanted to control the world and did it through manipulation. Everything that you see and hear on TV and radio, Howard Stern is the high priest who keeps all of them under control. There's various ones that's in these industries that keep the others under control. And there's gatekeepers, there's so-called blacks that keep everybody under their order in control. Oprah Winfrey was at the highest level. Tyler Perry was under her. These are things I came into knowing personally in my own situations with dealing with this every day. Me against the world. That's how I feel. Now I have my tribe, so thank you. I love y'all. Which helps, but I'm telling you, this is not an easy task. This is not an easy life. This is not something that, I chose it. I had to, and before I came here. But I just wish when we come here, we remember shit. Like, I didn't remember none of this. Like, why did I come here to do all of this? Give me some memory back. Like, that's what I want. That's what I'm praying for. The next ones to come after me, come here knowing exactly what you have to do without being distracted, without, having to figure it out. Almost 50 years old, you just now figuring it out. When I started this at 33 and should have been 10 years, I'm 10 years behind on my true and rightful path to my fated destiny. I yield, matriarch.
It's Empress. I wanted to bring up that David Letterman is a high up in the Masonics, and Will Smith was on his show when David Letterman was about to retire. Will Smith walked up to that man and tongue kissed him. I said to myself, now these got to be some Freemasons, Masonics, or something's going on. And it's not a joke. It's men that are affiliated with something that everybody else don't know, because ain't no man gonna go up to no other man and tongue kiss him. So after that, I said, well, all these actors are in cahoots and they all belong to their own society where they do things to children, to adults. Anybody that want to get in is going to be filmed having some kind of sexual perverted, however many men doing whatever to them, and it's going to be filmed. So if they snitch, if they tell, they're going to bring out this. And I said to myself, these people are sick. All of them are sick. And matter of fact, when the brother was talking about how people could go with pale faces, these people are going outside of their species. We are the nines. You can't get higher than a 9. They are only a 6, a rhesus monkey. Why would you want to go less? They have lice. If they don't take a bath, lice will develop on them. That is ridiculous. Why would you want to go with the animal?
Yes, ma'am.
I can't understand that. I mean, we are the 9, they are the 6. They got the animal in them, and they got fur. And I yield with that. It's just ridiculous.
Matriarch, is so true, and that's that. And it's funny that you mentioned this. I remember in high school, it was a rainy day, literally raining like cats and dogs outside, as they say. Boarded the bus, and it was a bunch of Albions on the bus from where I was, and it smelled like a pack of dogs on that bus. Literally smelled like a pack of dogs. It got so bad that I got off at the next stop, and I didn't care if I was gonna be late. I couldn't handle the smell. Ashe.
I'm telling you, I was in the store this past summer, and this lady, and she was with her daughter. She was a big lady, and I mean, everywhere she went, the stench followed her. I couldn't believe it. I said, "Ooh, I gotta get out of this store." It was so bad. I was like, "What is that? Can't be human. Can't be. They don't have a liver. That's the thing."
It must be something, Empress. But I mean, that day, I literally, because I mean, I was becoming sick on my stomach. So they definitely have animalistic mentalities. Well, let's think about it. They say that when they were, of course, at the time when they were in caves, and they said when their husbands were out, I guess, hunting for food, they asked the wives. Correct me if I'm wrong. Their wives will be in there mating, with dogs or even horses or whatever. Have you heard that?
Yes, they would mate with beasts, animals, bestiality.
You say, well, we here amongst them. I just wish that we can. Well, it says to come out from among them. Come out from among them. It says that. The word said, come out from among them. But we want to be equal to them, equal to a cave dweller. We want to sit at a counter and prove that, hey, we're human, we can eat. Why would I want to eat in their kitchen? Why? In fact, why did they have the three brothers that went up there, at the Woolworths counter, wanting to sit there? I mean, they could be spitting on the food back there, working roots in the food, all this crap. But this is what we thought brought uh, equal rights. Just to sign a contract to live a life where we're the head anyway. We want to sit at a counter, and I can go on and on with that. But all this stuff back then, I mean, what did it truly mean? Just for them to get to the point where, okay, we'll go ahead and sign the contract called the Civil Rights Contract. You sign this, we'll go ahead and let you all, but you're still a nigga to us now. When really nigga really, like I said, it means a good word, but it's been defrauded. It's been defrauded, and then here it is, we out here calling each other that.
You finish?
Yes, I just got. I guess I just got lost in my thought. Ashe. I meant to say Ashe. Ashe.
Islam. Martin Luther King. His name was Michael. His father went into Europe and found Luther and called himself Martin Luther King, Martin Luther, and he named his son Martin Luther, renamed him, but people still called him Michael. Okay, so Michael was into masonry. Okay, never heard that brought up. So Michael was told not to do a certain thing. You know, you big time preacher and all this, and you guiding the people back to whatever. But we don't want you to do a certain thing, like talking about the mountaintop and you seen the land and it's the promised land and you know all these things, but I might not get there with you. When you start opening your mouth and talking about things you're not supposed to talk about, you just put a mark on your head. And your own people can take you out. Your own people standing there because they got marks too. But if they do this certain thing, then their mark could disappear. Snitches. No good, evil, vile, malicious, envious. Our own people is hateful. But as
Not our
long as
own
we got
people.
some of our own people, as long as we got $15 more than the next person, then we happy. And I yield.
Yeah, I was saying that too, matriarch, our own people. But guess what? The ancestors told me they are not your people. They are wicked. And anybody that took the side of wicked is not our people. I don't care what they look like. We have to set standards and we have to keep standards going. We have to, keep, everybody used to ask me when I was young, why are you always so serious? Why I'm 20 years old, 23, buying real estate, doing serious things and being conscious about what I'm doing. That's just in my family line. Come to find out, you know, rulers have my own business and my own things going and employing people half my twice my age at 23. But the thing is, I look back and I'm saying to myself, wow, where did I get that from? Where did I get that gumption to even do that? You know, the ancestors told me there is a dark skin, so they're not all pale faced. You have a species in Africa, in remote areas of Nigeria. They too are not real people. They were created here on earth, so they don't have a soul. The ones that our ancestors, the Anunnaki, the ancient ones created here on this planet don't have a soul. So those of us who have a soul came from the outer planets. We came from the cosmos. That's why we have a soul. That's the connection that they broke from us and told us don't look up there, don't look to the stars, don't do no astrology, don't do any of that. That's why they did that on purpose because that's our connection, that's our power source. They don't have that. So the species that is, melanated or they dark, they look like, they melanated. They were created to be the workforce also. That's who is in that picture. That's the 3/5. That's 3/5. So some of them did come as slaves, but the thing they don't tell us is that it was only a small number of them not compared to what they're saying. They always lie about the numbers, and they always lie about the timelines, and they always lie about the maps and how everything was positioned. They turned the maps upside down
Right.
to confuse us. It's a lot of stuff they did. So was north is south and was south is north, and also the names, also the letters. They took on names and changed it by one or two letters of prominent families, those that came into power. It's just a lot of trickery that was done, and it's sad to see so many of our people don't know who they are, and they keep talking this spook tale, fairy tale stories that this is their land. They're from here. This is the motherland. Why is it that how is Africa the motherland? Even though, okay, I found out my lineage is from ancient Kemet. That's 700 million years lineage. Ancient Kemet, that bloodline, the first family. Okay, true enough. But yet you see everything running from America. Everything. It was no in history, in their story, and in the timeline. Where was civilization at? They had civilization and stuff like that, but I'm talking about it's all the motherland. That's what I'm trying to say. This is all our land. It just was not Africa. I yield.
Well, family, I'm gonna say it's been a and as always, it's very it was a very enlightened conference this evening. I'm gonna go ahead and um, go ahead and take my rest so I can start. I guess start this day in about 3 or 4 hours from now. Um,
Okay, Noble. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your contribution. I appreciate you. And have a good night.
have a good night, everyone.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Peace and love. Empress Ninti, the picture you
Yes,
have,
ma'am. Mm-hmm.
not this one exactly, but the ones prior, the men would look like men, they have beards. They were all holding a bag.
Yep. And that's what they talk about in some of these documentaries. That's the bag of herbs and stuff. They spiritual protection. So-called Jesus carry herbs. That was his protection. Krishna. Krishna.
I think Prophet Noble Jew Ali got that bag that he wore from India. So I'm
Yeah,
thinking he had herbs in it also.
that was our practice. That wormwood prevents accidents and mishaps, keeps wicked spirits away from you.
Wormwood, huh?
Yes, that's one of the main ones. And you can see them talk about wormwood in the spiritual, a lot of spiritual practices, and also in the Bible and Quran.
Um, I wanted to mention that maybe 10 years or more back, I saw a video from some men that were recording underwater. And what they recorded was mermaids, male and female, swimming around their underwater oil rig platform.
Were they dark?
I don't remember. But they
If
were
they weren't,
fast.
if they
They were
weren't,
fast.
if they weren't dark, they weren't real.
They were fast. I remember that. I don't remember at this time if they were melanated, but they were fast. I was like, wow, look how fast they are. Woo. Okay, so
Yeah, they're still in Mesopotamia. They're still in that same region where life started. They came out of the planet Serpentanius from a ball of light. We came down here as pure consciousness. So ain't nobody traveling back and forth in no spaceships. The only way you leaving this planet going to another planet is when you change form. You have to change form to go to other planets and to cohabitate there. Ain't no secret suit, ain't no astronaut suit gonna allow you to do that. They not doing that. That's an illusion. The Anunnaki is not even doing that. They're not taking no spaceship up there. Only way you leaving this earthly plane going into space is when you change form in the spirit realm. Go back in the ball of light the same way you came. But the only ones that's doing that is us. Those who have a soul can do that. If you don't have a soul, your last stop is here. There's no
right.
more creation for you. That's why they so afraid. And that's why they trying to put us on this same level with this fake vaccine, dumbing down. All these vaccines have been created to dumb down the masses, the God gene. Ashe. So listen what this guy is saying. I found some truth in what he has said, but he has a show called The Fifth Kind. See, they know about that 3/5.
Yeah.
So he said the fifth kind. Let's make it clear. When they talk about humankind, whenever they say kind, that means it's kind of like something.
Yes.
Ish. More ish. That's why I don't say that.
I don't say it
Church-ish.
either.
Yeah.
Right.
The Bible, we have a summary version of all these stories that pepper Sumerian, Babylonian, and Assyrian texts. The problem and the shock horror is that the original versions, the Sumerian versions of these stories, make no mention of God at all. In the Sumerian originals, these are stories of our ancestors.
You hear what he said? It's in the original text. It's none of what they have perpetuated.
Right.
Contact
Right.
with another species, a species called the Anunnaki.
Now, that's why I watch this type of stuff, because the ancestors speak to me and give me the answers. And if I don't get them, I'll divinate about it and get the right answers. So they keep saying species. This is how you know they're not connected. They're not connected. Stuff that becomes so clear to us is still a mystery to others. That's because they don't have the same connection. They don't have the soul connection that we have. They keep saying the other species, and they keep, acting like um it's extraterrestrial. When some of them know the truth. The Anunnaki is us. The original first bloodline. That's the imperial bloodline. The Nomos, the mermaid you just seen, imperial bloodline. First ones here. That's what that means. So when they say all this different stuff, and they done been out here discovering everything, so they know the truth for the last 100 years. You discovering all of this stuff and you don't know the truth? Come on. They purposely misleading people. That's their agenda, to mislead. Because if they tell the truth about where everything began and how everything happened, then that would mean they got to tell the truth about themselves. And that's their greatest fear. They don't want to tell you who they are. They don't want to tell you they came out the cave and they're mixed with Reese's monkey. They're never going to tell you that.
That trained the armies of nation states, that's quite a tea company. In fact, Roland.
He's talking about a company that sold tea that went over to, I believe it was Mesopotamia, and they did not want to leave until they got the information about the Book of Kings. Now, this is an ancient book that was written in stone on the walls of Persia that is now sitting in some museum in London, England. The same place that is my family line's land, and the same place where the Maxima family of London, England, my cousin Mark Anderson, Percy, he wasn't a real Percy, but he called himself Percy because he wanted to control the monetary system here in America. The Persian family line, as well as the Medici, Pallavinici, they were responsible for the banks. They're responsible for collecting the taxes and turning it over to the empire. This is where all the fallout came from in the family. So anyway, the cousin of London, England, Mark Anderson, probably his mother or grandmother, great grandmother, ordered this Book of Kings to be brought to London, England. They don't want nobody to see the truth because they come from the family line, but it tells you who is supposed to be seated on the throne. So they don't want that because they know they overturn the empire and the throne. They don't want nobody to know who they are. They don't want nobody to know the truth, especially when they have frauds sitting up there and working them like puppets in the background, pale faces like the queen, the so-called Queen Elizabeth, and that fake royal family. And you can see old boy with all that red hair. He's a Scot. He came out the freaking cave, just like all of them did. Came out to do their bidding for the royal families who overturned the empire. That is the biggest secret. That's why all this stuff is secret society rituals, this and this and that. They sick. They doing all of this to cover up fraud, to cover up the lies, to cover up all the shit they stole. including the land. This is what the big secret is that the land is ours, and that is what they're supposed to uphold in these courts, in these government agencies, all these people in these secret societies, they know the secret. That's why everywhere you turn, it seems like you're being blocked. Because that's their order. They not supposed to let you get nothing. Don't let them get nothing. Especially if they know you are, one of the type of Moors that is progressive. They don't like progressive niggas. They do everything in their power. Unless you get down with them, if you don't get down with them and let them pimp you and make some money off of you, they're going to try to ruin you. This is how they are. This is how this whole system works. So people like me that always remained independent to whatever cost, to the cost of homelessness, I'm not giving in. I'm not down with none of your stuff. Give me what's mine. I came here to do a job, and I'm not deviating from that. I don't care what it takes, but a lot of people don't have that kind of strength to withstand the threats of these people, because they will try you. Dangle carrots, all of that. But you have to know when you are selling your soul to the devil. The government has come to me, has sent agents to me on more than one occasion back in the day, trying to get me to convert, trying to get me to waive my rights. Not at that time, I'm saying no, no. That time and every time, I'm saying y'all owe me something. I didn't know to what extent at that time that I know right now, but I knew what I had created and that they was using it, because they kept blocking me out of my accounts at Treasury Direct and at the IRS and at different places. They wouldn't even let me use my own social security number. I'm saying y'all using my shit. People walking up to me because I was doing loans back then. They coming up to me asking me for money, all these military guys, and I'm saying to myself, yeah, y'all see what I got. But they've been blocking me from it. Not being able to use my own name, not being able to use my own social security number. I'm saying to myself, ain't no way I would ever waive my rights and go work with the government. They offer me all type of stuff. We like your work. We like your work. Was gonna offered to send me to some forensic fraud school and all of this stuff. I'm saying to myself, I already wrote the book on it. I already did that. Crack that code. Why do I need y'all? I don't need y'all. And why are you offering me that? It's a reason. Every time somebody comes to make you an offer, somebody like that in the governmental capacity or the industry, it's something wrong. They want your soul. They want your intelligence, your information. Parasites. I'm just so glad I was strong enough and I knew better. And I don't care how much they took from me. My cars, put me out of houses unlawfully on more than one occasion, still trying to do that. After I paid cash for something, you still gonna try this dumb shit? This is who we dealing with. A psychotic beast that will try anything to, achieve their goal and their means. But I'm at a point now where I've realized my power. They can't just do anything to me anymore like they used to. But how many people have they done these type of things to? Tried to ruin their lives, try to make them seem crazy, put them in institutions. This is their MO. I've seen it throughout my years. So when I see the bull coming, I know it's bull. I don't hesitate. I already know. I'm going into action. I'm not even giving that my energy. I'm going to enforce my own will in my situation. Nobody is going to enforce their will upon me. Them days is over. Taking my cars. They took so many cars from me in the last few years. It's ridiculous. Took cars from my son. Just do whatever they want to do. Because somebody gave them an order to do it. I just want y'all to understand. And then once you understand, overstand how to get out of it. Shay, let's hear what the doctor has to say.
His presence in Iran wasn't part of a quid pro quo for trading rights. He was there for access to the district of Behistun. He wanted to find the Behistun inscription. The Behistun inscription was an ancient royal proclamation carved into a cliff face. It was written in 3 known languages: Persian, Elamite, and Akkadian, which was the common language of the Mesopotamian cultures. The inscription expressed all 3 languages in cuneiform script. It was the translation key the cuneiform tablets had been waiting for. The memories of Mesopotamia's ancient cultures were suddenly an open book. The glyphs were not mere decoration, after all. They were banking records, business agreements, shopping lists, contracts, recipes, inventories, royal histories, and the most ancient narrative in the history of the world.
Let me share this other screen with y'all. This is the area he's talking about. The area he's talking about is really Iraq, which they changed the name to Iraq when they conquered Persia. So this is the region that is called Persian Iraq, also uncommonly spelled as Persian Iraq with a K. Is a historical region of the western parts of Iran. Let's look at the map real quick. Persian Iraq. That's all Persian. Khuzestan. Yep. All of this was Persia. Okay, let's go back. Let's see.
It was in these ancient narratives that the source of banking records, business agreements, shopping was an ancient royal stone. He wanted to
Behistun is the area.
find the Behistun inscription. The Behistun inscription was an ancient royal proclamation carved into a cliff face.
Ancient royal proclamation. And look at the visual. You see any straight hair?
It was written in 3 known.
You see any straight fur? You see these big noses like I got? This is where I get this nose from. My Persian blood.
Languages: Persian, Elamite, and Akkadian, which was the common language of the Mesopotamian cultures. The inscription expressed all 3 languages in cuneiform script. It was the translation key the cuneiform tablets had been waiting for. The memories of Mesopotamia's ancient cultures were suddenly an open book. The glyphs were not mere decoration after all. They were banking records, business agreements, shopping lists, contracts, recipes, inventories, royal histories, and the most ancient narrative in the history of the world. It was in these ancient narratives that the
Now, this is where the term comes from, write it in stone. You can't forget that contract. You can't forget that lineage. It's written in stone. It ain't no mistake about it. So this is ancient stuff right here. Let me see what else I got in here. These folks, they play a lot of games. They play a lot of games. Like we'll never find out about it. Like, you know, they can just tell us whatever, they want to tell us, and we supposed to go run with that and never ask no questions about it.
though a devout Christian and a Baptist pastor, the authorities considered that his recent theological papers had struck at the very roots of two world religions, Christianity and Judaism.
These are the two right here that work together. That Catholic priesthood and Jesuit priesthood, but they all trained under the Jesuit priesthood and sent to Jesuit schools, and they pray to the Black Madonna. Their orders up under them, the Scottish Rites, the Freemasons, and all of them, they pray to King Solomon, the higher ups, King Tut, the lower level, who is the foot soldiers, they pray to Isis, they pray to Osiris for power.
What Nathaniel Schmidt had done wrong was read the Sumerian and Babylonian and Assyrian texts and notice that they were full of fascinating parallels, stories that occurred there that were uncannily similar to all the stories of beginnings of the Bible. Stories like Adam and Eve, the fall, Cain and Abel.
So here we go again with the wrong timelines. None of this stuff happened in the 1890s, but that's how they had to cover up their beginnings. So they changed the timelines. They didn't come out the caves until 1900 even. And before they came out the cave, they was in the caves. Okay, they've been here 600 years. So they've been out the cave 127 years. So 470 some odd years that they were in the cave, dwelling in the cave.